Well, hello, today is day 19 of our archaeological dig at Bremenium Roman Fort. All is going well, and I've been summoned over to the area where Ethan is digging because I believe he's found something of potential interest. How's it going, Ethan?
Alright.
What have you found?
Well, it looks like it might be a bit of wood.
Oh!
Not sure what for.
Oh, I see. In all of that organic material, like blackening. Well, that's quite interesting. You know, if it's just a bit of timber that's preserved in the good anaerobic conditions.
Yeah. We're going to take a sample of it.
You don't think it's a shaft or something like that?
Who knows?
Doesn't really look like anything.
Yes, I think sampling is a very good idea. We could maybe learn something from it. That's brilliant. I remember when we were digging over on the other side of the field wall a couple of years ago, and we found a ditch kind of gully over there, and the bottom of it was lined with kind of wicker in the base. And it's a little bit reminiscent, but that's a bit broader, I think, there. And there's just one.
Well, just one so
So
far.
it could be, yeah, with one so far. Yeah. Well, keep digging around and see what else you can find. But yeah, that's amazing, and it shows you the potential for finding preserved wooden material. Then who knows? There could be all kinds of things in that layer. So keep our eyes peeled. All right. Well, this wood, what we thought might be a branch or wood or something like that. We've had a careful look. And Ethan and Pauline have been scraping away in here and revealed it's most likely an antler. Isn't that amazing? And it seems an unlikely find, but not in the context of High Rochester Fort, because I believe there were red deer remains found in the fort, along with fox and badger. So, some rather strange things going on. Are they in midden deposits? Are they just eating anything that they can come across? Not that deer would be an unusual thing to eat, of course. Worth salvaging antlers, very useful for all kinds of purposes. Brilliant. Well, we're lucky today to have John Nolan with us. Hi, John.
Hi, Mark.
John is using his total station here, and we are surveying in the trenches. So we're surveying, it measures, it fires a laser towards a staff there. Richard, you'll see down there, is holding a staff with a prism on the top, and it fires a laser, and that measures the distance and the height. It's very clever. So we can build up a picture, like a map really, of the site and where our trenches are in relation to the landscape and the features within the trenches, so we can mark the positions of everything.
And the top of Laura's head.
Sorry.
You need to know.
This is trench 4 again, beneath the west gate of the fort, and this enigmatic square building that we assumed would return at that end, but I'm not sure if it has. Let's go and take a quick look. Hi, this is Satu doing some of the digging here, and Luca, who's been a real good help today with helping with drawing and digging and all kinds. And can you tell us what you've been digging here at all?
Well, we have been chasing the corner, or rather a wall, been digging along, extended in the morning, we did some de-turfing,
Yeah.
many skills, and we think that this could be a turning wall over there. We're not sure,
Right.
but we think.
I returned. So this was based on the geophysical survey, and it looked like this wall, the big wall of the square building, would return, but it hasn't quite in the place we expected. So it's a little bit further over, but then it's not an exact science. So it's there or thereabouts. So that's all fine, but it's interesting that it seems to be raised courses at this end in the corner. So that's something to consider. we'll just give it a bit more of a clean back, and we'll see tomorrow hopefully. So that's the north facing section of trench 3, and I've been trying to do some recording in here as well. So you put in what we've done. I want to draw the north facing section of the trench, so I've put in this level line. The string line is perfectly level using a line level, and we've got a tape, it needs to be tightened a little bit, but we measure along basically, and we draw it. We do a scaled technical drawing at 1 to 20 scale, and we write on, we draw where the turf is at the top and the base of the trench, and then we start putting in the features, the layers, like the topsoil, and then all of that banding and layers, and the ditch fill, and the wall where that's running. We just measure down vertically with a tape measure, sometimes with a plumb bob if it's a deep trench, to get a straight line. And it gives you a really good idea of how the stratigraphy is running. We label it with context numbers. Every layer has a context number. But they've done really well in here today as well, the digging. You see the depth of that rampart wall, it's pretty big. But it's curious, well, at the bottom there's a lot more organic material. We can see an offset just extending from the face of the wall. If I go vertically, the offset's there, and then we found the construction cut, which is exactly what I said the other day. It's there's a clay and rubble fill that they've thrown in as a hardcore base to support the wall, and that extends something like a hand's width beyond the offset, and then under that, or cut through that, and all around it in the bottom is this grey blue coloured clay with much organic matter in it. There's even flecks of pottery in that. So we've done a paleo-environmental sample for that. Now if we look at the other side of this wall, then much progress has been made on here also, but it's a strange one in section. Look at the elevation in here. Let me jump down. Oh, see if I can show you. So courses in here, they're fine, but there's no offset course. And when you get halfway along, there are no courses at all beyond the upper course, which look a little precariously balanced actually. There's some rubble perhaps thrown in there, but it is not so well built on the inside as the outside. Perhaps you might expect that. Anyhow, let's move further down. Now this is the wall of building 1, and it is extending almost, we haven't got quite to the trench edge yet, but it is extending almost to the trench edge. Now where the return is, I haven't even talked to Rupert yet about this, but it looks, oh, Alan Gray was in here, and it looks like there might be some coursing in there from a return that would match the return on this side. But it extends, of course. Now this is rather odd in here as well. This is the parallel, I suppose it's the south wall of building 1. And beyond our bread oven, there's our bread oven, looking lovely. And some kind of occupation surface in there that we must sample tomorrow. And if you look down here, it looks like there is a void running through the wall, and one of the fellas put their hand in there and found it does go right through, but it also goes, the void goes perpendicularly through the center of the long axis of the wall, which is very odd. So I'm not quite sure I can explain that at this stage. I mean, you might well get drains and such like going through walls, but why would it go through the center, through what would be core material of the wall long ways? I don't know. So we'll have to think about that and explore it a bit more. Also of note, we put a slot, a rather large trench really in here, and it's very bizarre because we have the wall of building 1. This is the north wall of building 1, running down there and into the section, and it looks like that's the wall of it continuing and along this way, and then there's a later wall on the right hand side of it there. So there's just the scrappy bits of building 1 there and in here, but abutting it seems to be, we thought it was another wall entirely at first, but it might be just abutting onto it, that they've put an extra course, an extra skin rather, I think is how you'd phrase it, an extra skin on this part of the wall, and it does end abruptly there. I don't think we're at the bottom of it yet, but it is clearly substantial. So I don't know what's going on with that. Could it be a buttress? I don't know why it would be 1 skin thick. It could be reinforcing it for some reason unknown. We need to explore that a bit more, but interesting. Well, just before we leave, I wanted to show you this find here. Alan pulled it out of organic material in a Roman context, and it looks just like a polished pebble, but it's perfectly flat on that side, and we think it's a gaming counter. There's various suggestions, but I think there are Roman games that use these type of things, and it's perfect size. So it's some kind of black polished stone, and it's quite a lovely little thing, very tactile.